怒りを叫べ悲しみを叫べ魂を叫べ今ここで叫べ
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, Bearded Kappa Litton.
And I'm Jerry, Robo Tengu Smith. How's it going, Sean?
It is going absolutely great, Jerry. I'm super excited to be here. I'm not tired at all. Nah, I'm actually
I feel you.
doing pretty decent.
Me neither.
Yeah, we're totally not phoning this in today.
I mean, to be fair, I got lots of sleep. Like, I slept like 12 hours, not gonna lie. Like on and off. Like so we Steph's birthday's tomorrow. Right. Assuming we're releasing this episode today.
We are.
So it's on the 8th. So happy birthday to Stephanie. We actually, and it was kind of cool. So we celebrated her birthday Saturday night, and it was also kind of a celebration because it was our final, like our 2 weeks of having our second vaccine. Nice, so we're nice and vaccinated now. So we did a little birthday get together for her and did teppanyaki, or if you're in the South, it's hibachi.
Right.
And so we got like a bunch of friends together, and when I had a bunch of drinks and everything, and then went over to our friends who just moved here and played some Mario Party, and then chilled out in a hot tub, and we were like up until like 3 or 4 in the morning. Got a little bit of sleep, but not a whole lot of sleep, and then came back home. Watched A Quiet Place 1, and then went and saw A Quiet Place 2 last night in theaters, might I say. Right. Yeah, it's kind of great because, like with us feeling more comfortable being vaccinated and everything, we've been getting out a little more. So like last weekend, we went and saw the Demon Slayer movie, and then this weekend we went and saw A Quiet Place 2. But we got back here, and I was so fucking tired. Like, I think I passed out around like 8 or 9, and then like basically slept until like 8 this morning. So yeah.
Well, I work late nights, so my bedtime is averaging about 3 a.m. if I just feel like I don't want to go right to bed. Anyway,
yeah,
so,
too old for that.
I mean, when you get off at 10 or 11:30 at night, you just don't want to go right to sleep, so you just throw on some YouTube, read some manga, play some Final Fantasy X or something. Nothing too.
I would never do that. I would never play Final Fantasy X.
I don't believe that for a second.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you Final Fantasy X would be your jam because there's a cat there's a cat person in there. And we know that is true. That's what you're all about. We all know this. It's been recorded. Yeah. So I've got some sleep, but I'm still fucking tired. So, welcome to being 41, I guess. I don't know. I remember when I used to go like 5-6 hours of sleep, and I'm good. I can stay up all night. Now I'm fucking old and this horrible. But actually, bringing up that, you're fully vaccinated. Congratulations. I'm glad you survived, getting the 5G tower, the whole tower injected into you.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was rough. That following 24 hours.
That feels like a bullet shooting into you, and how it's going to change your DNA coding. And anyway, we're done. We're done even acknowledging that bullshit.
No. You remember whenever Peter Parker got bit in the first Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire, and then how he felt like the night of or whatever. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
And then you woke up with abs.
I woke up with abs and didn't need my glasses anymore.
Nice.
And sweet, sick dance moves.
But I am excited to say, even though none of my friends are excited for it, because, I've been vaccinated actually for a while. I was very lucky that my job offered, like in February, March, something like that, to get us the first shot, then the second shot the following month. So I've been vaccinated for a while, but, I'm not, like, with you gone, not for my life, but for my state. I'm realizing how much of the social butterfly driving force you were in my life, and not, and, don't get me wrong. We just had a year and a half of stay the fuck away from me, so it's also that kind of habit. But in a couple weeks, like in 2 weekends specifically, I don't know. I don't want to math right now. I'm going to my first comic book convention in over a year.
Yeah.
And none of my friends want to go.
No.
Not because of granted, we all should be scared of smelly nerds that pass diseases around, but well, apparently the runner of the show has this openly, and I've seen a little after they pointed it out. You kind of start noticing little details where there's a case where he's not a fan of the cosplay community.
Oh.
Openly saying they ruin his shows or whatever. Apparently, I've never saw that specifically.
Yeah.
But I don't know, when you announce big cosplay contests, and then and not that we're worried about the prizes or anything, but when you just you do a group cosplay, you hand them one printed out paper certificate of winner. You can tell it's not a high priority. Cool, fine, no big deal. But then you start just seeing little things, they tried to hold a lunch with a hero where you're supposed to get all these superheroes show up and they have lunch with the kids, which is great. I never saw a single post about it, and I followed their Facebook page. The only time I saw a post about it was, if we don't get any superheroes signing up, we're gonna cancel this event. And then they end up canceling it, and it's and again, I'm not gonna put them on blast. Who this is. It's just and then I say it, and basically it's hey, we're not going to talk about how shitty this guy is apparently to cosplayers. I've never had an interaction, but this is my friends who actually know the person, and I think I've even volunteered and helped at the con. So I'm guessing this is where they got their information. They're not just shit talkers or rumor spreaders. I know my people, and yeah, and that's all this, and so they don't want to go, and I get that, and I respect that. And don't get it wrong, I'm gonna go to a con. I'm debuting some cosplays. And I'm really excited, but a big reason I like going to cons is I got friends, and most of these guys are them because they live hours and hours away from me. This is the only time I see them. So it's a little bittersweet. Our boy Gregory, he's gonna go up there for a little while, but he'll probably just buy his shit, whatever he wants, and leave. And I'm fully vaccinated. I do believe the CDC says I am safe, and I am safe from infecting people. And all this, but we'll see how comfortable I feel sticking around, I guess. But regardless, I am super excited that I can go to a convention. I can buy an overpriced piece of merch. I can hopefully someone will ask me for my picture, in a costume, and justify the hours and hours and money I spent on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's the funnest thing about conventions, in my opinion anyway, is just getting to hang out with your friends,
Yeah. And honestly,
getting to see people.
Yeah, and there's going to be a couple people from the group that they're going to show up anyway, probably just for the one day. My boss gave me the weekend off, so I'll be doing a 2-day just because I've been posting it, and I mean it. I miss conventions so fucking much. And yeah, super excited for that one. And I got we got our friend Larry. Is not just at a Comic-Con, although it's only going to be a 1-day event this year, and a smaller venue and stuff. I'll have a table where I'll be selling off a lot of my my collection that I whittled down. And so I'll have that. That'll be a nice little 1-day thing. And then later on, we got Arkansas Comic-Con, which all the crew sounds like they're going. So that's gonna be that's the one down in the River Market. That's gonna be a banger. We got that's the one that usually has a lot of guests, actors, and this year wrestlers. I mean, we got the legend Sting is actually going to be there, which I'm pretty excited for. And for wrestling fans out there, all three of y'all listen, if that no, only one of the five. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, a wrestler who is a real life dentist as well. Recent AEW Women's Champion is just got announced to be there too, and I got quite a bit of the crew simping on her, so they're very excited, and she's good. I'm excited for them. So looking forward to, got some conventions coming down the line. And I guess I got another story to bring up. Unless you got something. You got any conventions you're planning on doing?
Go for it. I mean, they have one that's actually going to be this month, but I didn't find out until like late last month,
Yeah.
which is kind of a shame because I think Donnie Cates is supposed to be there, and
Oh,
it would have been cool to finally meet that
yeah.
dude.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I found out so late that I didn't really have time to plan for it, so I'm not super worried about it. But
Right.
we have planned for a bunch of other stuff, or we've started planning finally. Now that we have lots of friends that are up here and vaccinated and everything, because
Right.
like literally everyone that was at the birthday thing on Saturday was vaxxed. I don't know if you've ever heard of MOPOP.
Not.
Um,
No, don't know that
I,
one.
I I want to say I brought it up whenever you guys were planning to come up here. I think Vanetta has probably heard of it because she's the more cultured of the
It's
two.
true. It's absolutely true.
But it's a modern like it's an art thing of like oh, what am I trying to think here? Pop culture.
Okay.
So, like they do certain events and stuff. They'll have comic book stuff. I think our friends John and April actually visited whenever they were doing Marvel one year.
Right.
They've done Minecraft. They've done horror, and they'll basically just have these big exhibits and stuff from those certain
Oh, right.
genres
Right.
of stuff. Yeah. So it's something that we've been wanting to do since the first time I visited in 2019. But then whenever we didn't get to, we're like, all right, well, 2020 will be our year to go. Well, life shit it all over 2020. So
Absolutely. Right. Okay.
yeah,
What about
so we were going to try to do that this year.
right? Don't y'all have Emerald City Comic Con? Is that a
We do.
is
Uh,
that do you know if
yeah,
that's even happening?
it's I haven't seen anything, so I'm gonna assume not.
Right.
They have two really big conventions that happen here that I'm really sad that we didn't, because we were planning on going to at least one of them, and I can't remember what both of them were. I know one of them was Emerald City,
Right.
but yeah, it's pretty cool. I hear a lot of good things about like just the guests that visit and just how chill it is. It's not like really crazy like if you go to a big convention in New York City or
Right.
Washington or something like that. I mean Washington, New York City, or like Texas or something like that. One of those big
Right.
um, conventions.
I remember, yeah, like Stephanie sent us all a bunch of gifts. I think once she officially moved
Hmm.
down there before you did, and she had a great time.
Hmm.
Met Stan Sakai, creator of Usagi Yojimbo, and got me an autograph and a
Yeah.
sketch. I was super love it.
Hmm.
You also have, I believe it still takes place in Washington, is the Penny Arcade Expo.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
PAX.
could definitely see that because those, yeah, PAX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean they're based out of Penny Arcade's based out of Seattle. So I'm assuming,
Hmm.
but granted they got like Pack South, Pack East, that's grown so big. But that'd be cool to actually
Yeah.
go to a big video game convention, video game themed specifically. Which I know I've only been to one when we went to Japan. That's
Hmm.
been the only like video game con I've ever attended.
Yeah, the other one that they have here, I just looked it up, is Rose City Con.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay,
so they have Rose City Comic Con. Well, so Rose City Comic Con is it's in Portland, but I mean it's still super close to where we are.
all right, right,
So yeah, Rose City, Emerald City, and then PAX West are
gotcha.
all around this area. So
That's you got some
yeah,
legit choices when if and
oh
when
yeah,
they start up again.
yeah. Whenever they decide to do it again, no rush. There's also, because we're on the West Coast, California is just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right.
So a big thing that some of her friends like to do that they actually did as a yearly thing is go to like Hollywood, Universal Studios, and
Right.
Disney, and all that stuff. And they also have another Funko HQ that they just added down there.
Oh.
So they only have two in the U.S. now, and it's in California and in Washington.
Oh.
So
Okay.
there's lots to do down there too. So hopefully at some point we could go travel a little down south and check things out too.
Yeah. I actually what I've heard and because like oh why am I gonna go blank on it? It's San Diego
Hmm.
Comic Con, right? Obviously like
Right.
one of the biggest conventions out there. basically you can only go in to get, figure out what one person you want to meet. And you're going to be in line all day. Not the
Right,
best,
yeah.
although obviously a spectacle you'd like to experience once in your life. But what I've heard is like they've kind of low key started. The thing to do now though is to go to literally everything that's happening around the con.
Right.
Like all the local areas, businesses are having meetups, their own little, kind of like with WrestleMania for, again, the one wrestling fan that listens, where you can go to WrestleMania, you can have a great blast, but the entire weekend, smaller wrestling promotions are putting on shows. So you can still go to a whole lot of stuff around. That might be something else y'all might want to consider doing since you're right there on the west side. But one thing that's big about conventions is merchandise. We all spend too much. We all buy things we don't need in life, but God, we want them. And I got a story, not about a convention,
Oh, yes.
but about a piece of merch. So, earlier this year, I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the show because we explained that like recording was going to be a little weird because I had to record out in the living room because my house was getting refloored, and that was a fucking journey. Just everything we had to do, uncomfortable, annoying, just destroyed my entire mental state. So I said, you know what, Sean, you deserve a reward.
Oh boy.
And this is when I decided, this is about the time I was deciding, like, okay, I'm not going to buy $5 and $10 figures anymore that just completely fill up all my space. I'm going to start trying to focus on nicer statues. Or instead of buying every Harley Quinn figure that comes across at Walmart, why don't I just wait, save up some money, and buy a very nice one? Kind of swing it that way. Same with my books. I'm focusing more on trade paperbacks and hardbound collections and whatnot. So I decided, okay, well, I'm getting rid of my My Hero Funko Pop collection, except for a couple that I'm saving for myself. Because again, it just took up so much space. It was great showing it off in one setting, but I'm like, fuck, I gotta have a whole wall dedicated to just these because they make so damn many, and 90% of them are Deku. Like, come on, do you have to have a Deku with every wave?
Well, like, and now since the Demon Slayer movie came out, it looks like they're really going hard on Demon Slayer pops.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but they came out with a Hot Topic exclusive, and it's Tanjiro in like the blue kimono and the mask whenever he first took the exam. Ugh, I kind of want it.
It's nice. It's nice. But again, like I'm kind of like, no, there might still be like a one or two, like my favoriteest character. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, and if I stumble across a, how am I gonna forget her name? The sister.
Netsuko?
Netsuko, yeah. Like if I see her Funko Pop, and she got, just the big eyes and, just looking adorable as she does when she's innocent, not kicking the heads off demons,
Right.
I might grab it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not opposed to Funko Pops. I've kept quite a few. But it's just like, okay. Like, and so instead of like saying, okay, I want to get the Demon Slayer Funko Pops, I'm going to get all of them. Well, why don't I just get like a nice Tanjiro sweeping his sword up with flames or water, depending on what version it is. Nice statue. So that's kind of where I've moved on to a little bit with my collecting, which also keeps me from just filling up my entire room and running out of space constantly. So I decided I'm going to reward myself. There's been a, not cheap, but I found some good deals on it, Froppy statue from My Hero Academia. My favorite character from the series. It's got her inner hero costume with the big wear. Like it's a kind of a line where it has them doing like an action pose, and it'll say kind of it has English word of kind of what they do. And it can't really say frog, I guess. It's just a splash, but it's a very nice statue if you can track it down. It looks very cool. So I'm price shopping, and I find a very good deal for it on eBay. And okay, I went ahead and make the purchase. And, it's coming from Japan. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a delay. It's going to be a while. I get that. We know. We've been buying stuff from Japan for a while.
Right.
And so about a month goes by, and I'm like, okay, I've got no updates. I've got no tracking information, which, it can be normal. And it's been over a month. It starts hitting about a month. I'm like, I'm just going to contact the seller just to make sure everything's okay, because, again, I don't know what lockdown issues are over there. He says it's on the way. Like, okay, cool. You know, I'm trusting him. I'm trusting eBay, and he had good high rank. You know, I checked the ratings on the sellers and all that. And then about another week goes by, and I'm not hearing any updates. It still says in transit. Nothing. I'm like, okay, contact again. He goes, oh no, he contacted me. He goes, the package has been returned as damaged.
Oh.
You will be refunded. I'm sorry. Like, well, shit. Okay. And yeah, money came back, everything, no problem. Like, well, fuck. All right. Looked to Amazon. Somehow, because, like, this statue was on Amazon first, but it was like $100+ more than what they were offering on
Yeah,
eBay.
I'm looking at it now. It's like 197.77.
Yeah. And but that right there was cheaper than what eBay was now.
Oh.
It was like 300. I wasn't going to throw out the money because I'm not trying to talk about how much I'm spending, but damn it, you called me out. Yeah,
flex on your price for your statue.
So yeah, so it was about 220, 230 on eBay when I bought it, and it was like 300 something on Amazon first time.
Oh wow!
So I saw that one. I'm like, cool. Ordered it. Month passes, and it said like June 1st expected at the latest. I'm like,
right.
Okay. And then I started getting the notification going, it's running late. Check back with us in 5 days. If it's not there, you can get a refund. Like, I give it the 5 days, it has not arrived. Contact the seller, like, hey, I'm just wondering, because they never provided a tracking number. And again, it's coming from Japan, and I get it. And so I'm like, okay, contact the seller. Like, hey, I just want to know, is it still coming? Can you give me a tracking number so I can check? If it's still coming, I want it. I want my fucking reward. But, if it's not coming, or like something happened, let me know and I need my refund. They responded, we're terribly sorry about it being delayed and being late. We'll send you a refund. Like, well, fuck. So I've tried twice to get this damn statue.
You see, Sean, sometimes if you love something, let it go. And if it was meant to be, twice.
Yeah, I'm going to find it at this convention this next weekend for like $500, and I'm not going to maybe not buy it. Well, but now I have a couple $100 back in my bank. But you know what I mean? It's like, man, I just wanted a treat yourself for those out there who watch Parks and Recreation. And I'm like, well, fuck. But not all bad news as far as like that, because that money's going to go to, you remember as a former employee of a comic book store, Previous Magazine.
Oh, yes.
Man, this month had it out for me.
Yeah.
I circled so many damn things. And I know they won't be here till like October. But
yeah, I mean, especially if you're ordering like anime stuff.
It's I got some cool stuff coming I'm really excited for, but that's way down the line. But now, I guess, so now I got some extra money for this upcoming convention, which, but again, I'm like, we'll see what they have. I don't want to say Saline, kind of is not. I don't feel like it's one I've ever really spent a lot of money at. Comic Conway usually was the one that destroyed me every year.
Yeah.
They usually have, and Anime Con Arkansas, which I don't think is even happening this year. So
yeah, I don't think so. I think they're like replanning their whole format for that one, from what I saw online.
And you know what? I'm not mad at any of it. We, as of course, us southern states are quick to like, it's okay now, open up everything, and because I trust the CDC, because I've trusted them this far, I know I'm safe. And the unvaccinated are just going to infect each other, and they're going to have fun with that, and shut it down for us who did follow the rules.
Right.
But regardless, not trying to harp on that too much, but that's reality. So, but that's my trying to buy a damn Froppy statue journey.
yeah, that sounds real rough. Like I've never had that happen that many times. I did get
same. And I've been shopping like Amazon and Japan for a while.
Yeah, I did buy that For's SIC, and like one of the leg joints was really loose.
Oh,
and like I tried contacting, I think it was Bluefin that I bought it from, and like, I work in customer service, and a lot of what we do is returns, refunds, and like gauging that kind of stuff. Right. So I know that there's usually like a pretty long turnover rate on whenever you are should start hearing a what is it like hearing back from them and everything.
Right.
But man, these people responded back like months. Like it was months.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't even care now. But like the biggest thing that sucks is I think that's like literally one of the few collectibles that I've actually bought since we moved here, just because I don't have anywhere to display anything right now, so I'm not like as eager to buy things. But yeah, I see stuff often and I'm like, I'd kind of like that. I'd like to have that. This would be nice.
Right.
I did turn my desk at work into a little like I can display some things here, but I need to kind of like interchange it out and everything. So I all my stuff gets some time being displayed
Yeah.
since so much of it
Rotation.
is still packed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It was. I did get a good like belly laugh whenever they told us like we could only have, I think, 4 things displayed on our desk or something like that. But it's funny because so our company has 2 separate buildings now, as opposed to like one whenever we first started. And we're in the building that like nobody comes to from our like actual like office, where they do all of the technical stuff like designing products and stuff like that.
Right.
Like anyone that would basically care how much stuff you have on your desk.
Right.
So yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna just put one more thing on here every week until it's one of and like yeah.
What's the old phrase? It's easier to apologize than ask permission.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Oh, like, I didn't even realize I had 14
Yeah.
Gundams on my
It,
desk.
it,
Is that against
it's
it?
it's
You said one item. I thought Gundam is one togetherness. It's an army, so it counts as
yeah.
one. They work together.
It's
It's a
it's
team.
easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission or whatever.
There it is, man. I mean, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do sometimes. Like like
Hmm.
I didn't know if like when I dyed my hair green the first time, if they would have an issue with
Oh.
it being on the air base. Even though we had Christy had dyed her hair often,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to get into gender politics because it's unequal on both
Right.
sides. But sometimes stuff like that gets to slide a bit with them. In this case, obviously men
Mhm.
get their own shit too. I'm not trying to get into that, but it was a worry in the back of my mind. But I'm also like, I'll just tell them they can pay me. They can give me money to get it re-dyed back, or
Mhm.
pay it to get
Right.
it cut if they don't like it, and they didn't care, and that's good. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta do it and see what you get away with a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and it's always that weird thing, right? Like, just like, people calling you unprofessional if you like have your hair a certain way or
Right.
like dyed or have like facial piercings or tattoos showing. It's like, this does not like affect my performance in the job at all.
No, not at all.
Um, Yeah, so I don't know. It's just really like semantics at
I
that point,
I
you
did.
know.
I ain't gonna lie though, because and grant, hey, don't get it wrong. Like even if they did have a problem with it, I feel like I have a little leverage because I outwork damn near everybody at my job.
Right,
And
right.
that's not. I'm not a. You know me. I'm not a braggadocious person. I'm not one to toot my own
Mhm.
horn because you have to like yourself to do it. No, no, I'm not joking. But yeah, I'm a damn good worker, and they all know it. I'm reliable. I bust
Mhm.
my ass. So, but I was still nervous coming in, and of course, that was the day, one of the few days that the top brass boss was there and checking our temperature
Oh.
as we come in. And I'm like, oh boy,
Mhm.
if I'm going to hear from, it's going to be now. And she's like, oh, I really like that color. Like, thank you,
Huh.
ma'am. Thank you.
Just like stare at your boss or whatever that said that you couldn't do it or whatever.
Right. Like, this is what this look.
Yeah.
But because there's some like Christy, who when she
Mhm.
was working there, apparently there's. But
Mhm.
also again, I'm not trying to get into gender politics, but when you got a bunch of bored women up front, they tend to just have nothing to do but shit talk each other. And apparently there was a lot of negative, like
Mhm.
you know, her hair is not professional, like you were saying. She got that a lot apparently, and luckily
Mhm.
her boss, the cashier boss, while not having dyed hair, is covered in tattoos that are visible in her work attire.
Mhm.
So she's just like, that doesn't affect her work. You know what I mean? Like, Because someone asked me, like, so you're still good working with green hair, right? I said, I don't know. It's really making me feel lazy all of a sudden. Like, I don't know. I'm all green and fabulous now. So, yeah, no. I mean, my tattoos are generally hidden up until recently when my boss informed me, there's no rule that says you can't work in shorts. Because, I'm just a stalker. You know what I mean? I just work the sales floor. I just stock the shelves, help customers find shit. And I'm like, really? All these years where I've been working in 90, 100-degree temperature in the warehouse, sweating my fat ass off, you're the first manager that said, because I was wearing shorts because I came from the comic book shop beforehand, just chilling with the guys, was going to change in our locker room into my work pants. And she's like, are you just coming in? I'm like, yeah, you scheduled me now. I know I'm wearing shorts. I'm about to go change. And she's like, there's nothing in the rules say you have to wear pants. If you want to wear shorts, I'm okay with it. And it's that moment where that hot tear just rolls down your face. Like, really? And I've been a little more comfortable ever since. And I got my one calf tattoo, my hatchet man from Insane Clown Posse, and again, doesn't affect the work. Again, like people who professionalism. You don't look professional. Yeah. That's the word from boring people. And real quick, I know you got something you've been trying to interject. I'm sorry. I got one last thing.
You're fine.
It's all you, brother. I have a little bit of leeway sometimes at my job, and I don't push it much. But also, when a customer is rude to you because they think they can, I don't care. I need this job. I'm not gonna lie. I need this job. But I'm not going to put up with shit.
Yeah.
And and this customer was just like, I really don't appreciate dyed hair in a workplace.
Oh my God.
And this person clearly had their hair dyed from a darker color to a blonde. And I'm like, well, ma'am, I mean, you dye your roots brown, right? So you shouldn't really be worrying about my green hair. Instead of attacking that, clearly she's dyeing her hair blonde to be pretty.
Right.
But like, yeah, you're
right.
Listen, you dye your roots brown, so I wouldn't be too mad about my green. She looked dumbfounded, like she didn't understand it at first, and I just smiled and said, "Have a nice day," and I walked away from it. But it's like,
yeah,
to me, it's like, why do you fucking care?
Yeah, it's like. And especially whenever I worked at Subway, because it's like we're fast food, we're like overworked and underpaid.
Right.
So it's like, really, you want us to come in? And not to mention, like with the ovens in that place and how small it was,
right.
It would get fucking hot in there in the summer, and the AC hardly ever worked. It just really sucked. So I was literally always wearing cargo shorts. Like it would even get super hot in there during the summer. So it was literally always like shorts. And they tried to enforce it several times and also say like, you can't have tattoos below the sleeves and you shouldn't have facial piercings and stuff like that. And it's like, seriously?
Like, look.
Like, and
sorry. Go ahead.
No. And I'm just saying like the one thing I'm kind of surprised about, which I mean, I guess makes sense because I always had it tied up and everything, but I had long hair, so they never really got onto me for that.
Yeah, but you also wore a hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had hats and visors and all that stuff. Yeah. So
as long as your shit's not falling into my food, I don't give a shit. Like, as long as your lip piercing doesn't fall out into my sandwich when I'm trying to eat, and your hair is tied back, or at least, kept in a bun, and your dreads aren't dipped into my sauce or something, I don't give a fuck what you look like. And tattoos are the least of my fucking concern. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
Like, the ink's not gonna, like, unless it's scabbing and then it's flaking off into my sandwich, then I have a fucking issue. But
your dead skin cells just fell into my food. What the fuck?
But to me, that's motherfuckers who just don't have anything going interesting in their life, so they got to worry about other people who want to be interesting.
Seriously. Yeah. So I don't know, just weird, and I don't know. I don't understand it, but I'm glad I'm not in that kind of field, and I can technically wear whatever I want. Because before, like even at the last job that I had, it was an office job, so they had a fairly stricter. It was business casual, so you had to dress for that, especially if you were one of the people that were actually like seeing taxpayers and stuff like that and helping them out.
Right.
So it was that one was more understandable, but still, it's like you shouldn't like judge people based on like the color of their hair, if they have tattoos or facial piercings or something.
Yeah, like I kept. Not that I have a ton of tattoos, but my tattoo placement has been very specific because of
Hmm.
work, and I don't usually like wearing long sleeves, but like whenever I finally get back into the shop, I'm planning a
Hmm.
forearm piece, which eventually turned into a full sleeve, and I'm
Right.
still not gonna wear long sleeves if I don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's
Right.
like, because I mean, depending on what no, I'm not even gonna say that, because if you're good at your damn job, I don't care if you
Mhm.
got a dragon on your arm. If you have tribal, I might judge you on a personal level, but not a professional level.
Right.
But like beyond that, yeah, if you show you're competent in your job, who fucking cares? And again, it's a lot of,
Seriously.
I truly believe it's a generational thing, and a lot of the
Hmm.
old ways is still implemented. But again, where I'm at, I work in a fucking grocery store, so like,
Yeah. Yeah.
relax. You're not going to be
Like
happy
who gives
anyway.
a shit?
My tattoos aren't
Right.
making the meat cheaper for you as you're whining about it. So it's like I'm not affected.
Exactly.
So even if I'm clean cut, normal hair, no tattoos, you're still gonna bitch to me anyway. So what does it really matter?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Pretty much. That's exactly how I feel about it.
But yeah,
Um.
what you got?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Just kind of like going back into um like the theater and everything. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you're planning on seeing, like that you feel like you have to go see in the theater coming up?
Nope.
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 I
Cause
Go
sorry,
ahead.
I couldn't remember if we discussed on the show. I know I talked with the guys at the comic book
Hmm.
shop. I don't remember if I brought it up to you or not here, but I'm gonna bring it up again real quick anyway. Uh, I don't miss theaters.
Yeah.
I do. I miss the group activity of it.
Oh yeah.
Mainly you and me, because I mean,
Hmm.
I've gone with other friends too, and I don't know. There's something about you and me elbowing each other during the movie. We get a little hyped differently
Yeah.
other than Craig with a Star Wars film, you know.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't really miss the theater experience. We paid too damn much for it television. That's
Right.
nice and big.
Hmm.
We can watch The Quiet Place too without somebody talking throughout the movie, regardless of the theater manager coming and explaining, you should really to get the atmosphere, you should really refrain from being, you know, loud in the movie theater during this film. And when we went to see
Hmm.
the first one, we literally had the manager come in, like, friendly, but like, the idea of the film is silent. So if y'all can be as silent as
Mm.
possible, it's immersive. It'll
Yeah.
bring you into it. And he's absolutely right. That didn't stop the gentleman right next to my wife talking the entire fucking movie.
Jesus Christ.
But don't get it wrong. On the flip side, like, I hear stories, and we talked about it. We saw the clips of like the upcoming Marvel stuff when they showed the theater reaction to
Hmm.
Cap with the hammer.
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
My theater was not that loud. I was internally, as they said in
Hmm.
Japan during the pandemic era, where they still had a few roller coaster like parks open. They're like, but they don't want it to scream in your heart. Don't scream out loud
Hmm.
because of
Hmm.
COVID. I was screaming in my heart. But
Hmm.
now, like, that kind of
That's funny.
thing is cool. But
Mm.
like, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if theaters are as necessary anymore.
Yeah. No, it's true, especially whenever like you can go in, a lot of places are releasing movies on their streaming sites.
Yeah.
And some of them, you just pay and you're essentially paying the same amount that you'd pay to go see something in the theater.
Yeah.
I will definitely not ever see anything, I think, on opening night anymore. I think that time for me is past.
Right.
Because I was explaining to Steph, uh, how I used to, go and buy tickets for people, make sure that there are seats and stuff like that. And this was whenever I used to work at Subway, because they would actually pay for our seating for like one movie a month or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
And so a lot of what I would try to do, because I would also invite like friends outside of work. So they're like, oh yeah, go save seats. So we'd get up there like stupid early
Yeah.
and save like a bunch of seats. And it was always kind of a pain, like waiting in line for a movie. And then of course you've got so many people that are hyped for like the opening night or whatever.
Right.
So people are just super loud. And like I'm already one of those people that's just kind of irritated by like the sound of somebody like ruffling through like a bag of snacks or whatever during a movie.
Right.
So yeah, I will see something on like what I think is a slow time on a slow day or something. Still kind of eager to see like a Marvel movie in the first week so it doesn't get spoiled
Right.
for
Right.
me. But yeah, some of our friends that just moved here actually have a home theater with a projector and stuff now.
Ooh.
So yeah, we're actually more apt to hang out with them and get that like private experience of seeing something now.
Yeah.
So
This last year.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say this last year really is what made it apparent to me that
Yeah.
going, and I never did, like, I rarely, should I say, did opening day. I usually waited till like the Monday after, or
Hmm.
maybe a Sunday, early Sunday show. But
Yeah.
I realized, like, I mean, and don't get it wrong, there is bonuses to the theater. You pay for the overpriced food. There's something about a $5 hot dog at a movie theater. It just fucking
Hmm.
rocks my world for some reason.
Right.
But I was going out of necessity so that when I came to the comic book shop on Wednesday, we could talk about it.
Right.
That was more important to go see it than seeing it on the big screen. Other than obviously hanging with the boys, hanging with the crew.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really that. It was just like, well, I don't want everyone to be like, well, we can't talk about it. Sean's here. He didn't go see it. Waiting for me to be able to see it at home. So it's like
Yeah.
the last movie I can remember going where although there are some like you had said, and the last film I can remember top of my head right now of going, damn, I wish I would have saw it in theaters. And I think it was out in theaters before COVID hit. I don't remember when it came
Hmm.
out exactly. It was probably Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh.
I didn't even regret it for Convertzilla, honestly, which,
Hmm.
had some good stuff that would have been cool in theater for sure. But I didn't feel it with that
Yeah.
movie. But King of Monsters is probably the last one. I'm like, man, that, because it had great, seeing King Ghidorah, Mothra and Godzilla fight on the screen.
Rodan and
Rodan,
everything.
nobody cares
Yeah.
about Rodan.
Man.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got
You
some.
watch your
I
mouth.
know, right? But you know what I mean? Like that movie, yeah. And again, I'm going to. But right now, if you're asking me, like until I hear of like, what's, I mean, Black Widow's not even going to theaters. So yeah, I don't know. Probably
I
whenever.
think Black Widow is going to theaters though, isn't it?
Is it going to be a theater experience?
I'm pretty
Uh,
sure it is. Well, I mean, Disney will have it for like $30 and then you could go to theaters, but I
yeah,
feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like I really want to just see Marvel movies in theaters. I think it's just a
yeah.
good experience all
It
around
might
is
be
kind of my thought about it.
that might be the one then.
Hmm.
Although I would have been just as happy Brent,
Hmm.
buying it. It came and rent from Disney Plus, which,
I
by the
know, right?
way, I've avoided for so long.
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh
Disney
yeah.
Plus subscriber. I've avoided Mulan. I avoided, I think, Beauty and the Beast. I don't remember all the premium rentals that they had
Right.
until that damn Cruella.
Oh, did you?
The wife needed it. The wife had to
Oh,
have it.
how was it by the way?
Oh, okay. It's good
Yeah.
as long as you understand it, and as long as what it's gonna be is its own
Hmm.
thing. Because when the things they throw in that tie it to the original don't make any
Hmm.
fucking sense canonically.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna get into
Makes sense.
spoilers if you haven't watched it, uh,
Yeah.
and also for the viewers, for a re-envisioning, kind of like Wicked, and
Hmm.
I haven't seen Wicked, much better re-envisioning than Maleficent was to me.
Right. Yeah, I kind
Uh,
of figured that.
kind of, and if it makes it its own thing, because they don't like, she's obviously a more of a, I can't even say anti-hero, just like
Hmm.
people fucked with her, so she fucks back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Kind of
Yeah.
situation, and it led to it. And Emma Stone absolutely killed it. She was a damn big factor in making this movie entertaining. Soundtrack, it's a movie about fashion, really.
Yeah.
It's her going to war with
That's
with a fashionista, the Baroness as they call her, and
Mm-hmm.
and it is good. It's handling some stuff that kind of surprising for a Disney, really pushing that PG-13 rating,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in a good way. It had an edge to it. It had creativity to it, which a lot of these remakes have been lacking. But kind of like with Mulan, which Mulan was a good action film, but not a great adaptation.
Right.
This is not a good prequel to 101 Dalmatians, but it's a good start to just its own unique Cruella universe if they wanted to continue it.
Nice.
Because
Yeah, it looked like it was interesting.
because my doubts were like, because I know like it started with Wicked, my understanding is some of the Oz books kind of implied that the Wicked Witch of the West kind of had a bad lot in life, I believe, which is kind of what inspired the play. Of like how she was kind of like mistreated and poor done, and my understanding is that's kind of how it's addressed, and it worked. Maleficent, bitch was mad because she didn't get invited to a party, and then they turned this whole thing into her being some anti-hero who is the one true love of Sleeping Beauty, and it did not work. It was a beautiful film, like it looked good, but to me, my wife liked it. Vanetta liked Maleficent. I watched like this is garbage. This is I want to go see Wicked. We have Wicked at home, and it's Maleficent. To me,
That's fair.
It's a very weak version. Cruella.
Yeah.
Cruella is what it's a interesting origin for a character. Now there was a way that it could have worked. And you see it in the trailer, where she's walking down the runway with a Dalmatian coat, and the woman's like, "She killed my dogs. She turned them into coats," and they just left it with that.
Oh,
If they had done that, it would have tied better into, I don't know, because that was my whole thing when I saw Cruella announced it as a movie. I'm like, okay, I see what they're gonna do. I'm really curious how they're going to take a woman who wants to skin puppies into coats and make her an anti-hero or a hero. And they did it as long as they don't acknowledge it. But where they fucked up is all I'm going to say without talking about what you see. There's a mid-credit scene that fucks it all up as far as connecting to the original.
Yeah, but that's a shame.
Again, if they just make it its own thing, forget it's not going to be, it's its own, it's its Earth Prime, Earth 2, whatever, Cruella. It could, and they keep this kind of quality because, like I said, the soundtrack was fucking banger. The fashion and art of the film, because it's 1970s England. So like this is like the Mod Squad. This ain't disco 70s. This is like high fashion, and that's a big part of what the film is.
Yeah,
it worked. And again, Emma Thompson, I believe, who was the Baroness. Great.
Emma Stone,
Emma Stone was Cruella, and Emma Thompson, I believe, was
the
Baroness.
Gotcha,
yeah, two Emmas. Yeah,
that's interesting. All right,
they played well off each other. And don't get it wrong, I'm playing my Switch the entire time because I came home. It was late. I was surprised Vanetta wanted to stay up, and she hit me up about it. I'm like, okay, well, go ahead. I figured she'd have it watched before I got home. She's like, you have to do it on the web. Apparently, you have to do it on the website to buy these movies.
Oh,
so I had to have my card with the PIN number and everything. Didn't buy it till I got home, which was like almost midnight. So I'm staying up. I was surprised she did. She's watching it. I'm like, all right, Final Fantasy X it is. I wasn't that invested, but I caught myself following along, and it's a good film. Is it $30 good? Not for me. But my wife and those who I have been kind enough to share my account information with on Disney Plus have appreciated it, and that's worth it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a $30 film unless you're a huge fan of the concept and all the hype is good. But I think the hype is deserved.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like don't get me wrong, there will occasionally be stuff on Amazon Prime because they get a lot of really good movies
Yeah, they do.
to rent on their service. And occasionally there will be that movie that's like, all right, yep, they got me. I'll pay like the $15 or $20 or whatever to watch this. We actually there were two this week. One that actually I watched just because it went down in price, and I was kind of curious about it. And it was Chaos Walking.
Oh,
Have you seen anything on that
no,
with
I
Tom
haven't.
Holland?
Nope.
So the premise of it is you had, I guess, Earth, something was going on with Earth was dying, whatever, like it is today. And so they sent out explorers to find a new planet. I guess they found one, and they were like the first pilgrims or whatever, so they had to settle this planet. Well, something is weird with the atmosphere on this planet, and any man that goes there, their thoughts are basically on display. Like whenever they think, it's kind of like this sort of colorful kind of like thought bubble going on, and if they think like hard enough about something, it'll create like images, but you'll also be able to hear whatever they're saying in their head. Some of them like have trained themselves to keep it from happening and something. So it actually has who I am spacing on her name, but the girl that played Rey from the
Oh,
latest Star Wars trilogy. Um,
yeah. Now I'm going blank too. But yes, that's awesome. I'm glad to see her and more stuff popping up.
yeah. So it essentially it Daisy Ridley was her
There it
name.
is.
She was with like a following envoy or whatever, like another group that was finally going to the planet. After these other people should have settled it. Of whenever they hit the atmosphere, things start going weird. They didn't know this stuff was happening on it, and they end up crash landing it. She ends up being the only survivor, but she's also a woman, and for some reason they don't have any women in their village and stuff like that. So it becomes this thing of like this mystery of what happened. Why aren't women affected by this, and what are they going to do since like they found her. So like it becomes this real interesting struggle, and it was an interesting movie with kind of like an interesting like wave of mystery about it.
Right.
So it's only, I think it's only like $3 or $4 now. So
Right.
if
The
you're
normal rental price, yeah.
yeah. So if you want to check it out, I recommend it. I would say go for it. And then the other thing that we watched this week, and I feel like at this point it's kind of out of necessity that I kind of want to watch every movie in this series, even though like 80% of them are just really bad. But it was Spiral.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring it up.
yeah,
Yes, I just
yeah.
saw that. It's
Did you
on.
watch it?
I just saw. No,
Nice.
no, I hadn't watched it yet. I just saw last
Yeah.
night that it's on Prime for free with
Yes,
Prime. I'm like, finally.
bro. I know. And we watched it, and like, oh, so good. Like it was.
Really?
I don't want to overhype it or anything, but
Right,
like it
right.
was good compared to like the other 80% of the hot garbage, like 8 movies that they made, which is interesting. With
Oh
it being
no,
called
no, no,
Spiral and
no,
everything.
no, 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 no.
What's
I'm
up?
sorry. I was thinking of a different one. I'll bring that up here in a minute.
Oh,
Then a different
okay.
Spiral.
Well,
Never mind. You're talking about the
gotcha.
Saw franchise.
Yes.
Good to know. Okay, good.
So yeah, but so the interesting thing about it, right, is I guess they were going to gauge how this movie did, and then make more.
Right.
But apparently they've already copyrighted Saw X for a 10th movie.
Oh.
Um, Spiral is not, since it's not supposed to technically be in the canon of the Saw movies.
Right.
They still have a like, I don't know, they're thinking about doing a Saw 9 before Saw X comes out. So it's kind of like interesting and weird.
Right.
And like, I don't know how many of those movies you've seen.
All of them.
We just, oh yeah. So Steph and I like literally just maybe last year, beginning of this year, we marathoned it, like
Yeah.
all 8 of them. We watched all of them,
Oh.
and like, oh man, they get so convoluted, and like where they're trying to go with the storylines, and it just like didn't really capture the like interest and like mystery and like, oh shit, that's fucked up, of all of the traps and stuff that they get put in.
Yeah.
This movie kind of brought it back a bit, and it was kind of interesting how they handled things, and the story overall was good. Also, Chris Rock was in it, and he actually did a really good job, which is kind of funny because right now we're also watching Fargo season 4, and he's one of the main characters in it. He's like a leader of a criminal organization.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he's pretty intimidating in it, honestly. So it's kind of interesting because I honestly don't remember the last thing I saw him in before these two series. But yeah, no, it was. I definitely would say that Spiral was worth it.
Yeah, it's on the docket to get to
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if you know this. I am a horror movie reviewer. so,
Oh, yes.
so yeah,
No, I actually didn't know that. Oh, thanks.
that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, I've seen the Saw movies over the course of my October tradition, and
Right.
just watching on my own as well. Really enjoyed Jigsaw, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the Saw movies themselves, the mainline franchise, have definitely kind of gotten watered down until Jigsaw, and I've been curious about Spiral. Now,
Yeah.
we got a few minutes left. The last thing I guess we're going to bring up is no, I'm talking about a different Spiral that I saw just now on Amazon Prime for free for Prime subscribers. Better known as Uzumaki from Junji Ito,
Oh, gotcha.
which Uzumaki is Spiral in Japanese. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what I went. That's what I thought you were going to. I was like, yes, he's talking about it. No, the live action adaptation of Junji Ito's Uzumaki manga is now available for free if you have an Amazon Prime account. And while Japanese adaptations, while better than your average Netflix adaptation of manga, aren't always the best. But I can't lie, I'm super fucking excited to get into it.
Yeah.
But definitely gonna. I'm very excited because sadly, as big as Junji Ito is, and now here in the West as well, a lot of his adaptations, which not are all great from my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
you really think they'd be capitalizing. Because I know there's an animated Gyo, the one about the fish coming onto land,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's been several Tome movie adaptations, and I think one of them was on Prime. But they haven't really brought over a lot of them, and now we got this one, which came out a while ago, and like Craig still says like I forget where he said he saw it, but he apparently saw it somewhere a long time ago.
Mm.
So I'm very
Yeah.
excited to. I'm sure that'll be we're going to be getting into some one-off horror movies soon on my Macabre Matinee podcast on
Yeah.
my personal channel, Beard and Kappa Productions on YouTube. Check me out.
Yeah.
We're about to wrap up with the main event of Freddy versus Jason. We've done both
Oh,
of the
yes.
franchises. After that, we're going to get into some single horror films. I think that one might now probably be on the docket. So look forward to not listening to that, Jerry. I appreciate your support. And but yeah, I think that's going to do it. Well, we got a few minutes. You got anything else you want to toss out there real quick?
Not really. Nope.
All right, fuck y'all too. All right. Kidding. As always, thank y'all very much for tuning in to Heroes Rant. This is just a nice shooting the shit episode, which I always enjoy this shooting the shit with my boy Jerry. So I hope y'all enjoyed us doing that as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know the damn drill. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.